Is a picture really worth 1,000 words? Ask yourself that. How many times have you sat and tried to explain something to someone, right? And you're talking and talking and talking and they don't get it. Or you're trying to persuade someone to your line of thinking and they're not coming. So what do you say if you really want to seal the deal? You say, let me show you. Why is that? It's because seeing is believing. Leonardo da Vinci once wrote that a poet will be overcome by sleep and hunger before being able to describe with words what a painter is able to depict in an instant. He was right. The good old phrase of a picture's worth 1,000 words actually comes from an advertising executive named Frederick Bernard. And he wrote, one look is worth 1,000 words. Now, he was trying to sell tires, but whether it's tires or paintings, the point was the same. He understood the power of imagery. So that begs the question, when you have the power of imagery, because imagery is more powerful than what we read, it's more powerful than what we hear, it's what we see. We believe what we see. So when you add that power and you magnify it, because in the past, imagery was left up to governments, imagery was left up to rich people, cinematographers, photographers, people who did it for a profession. It wasn't readily available. Governments have controlled propaganda, good or bad, based on imagery. But now we have a different world, and I think the world is changing, and we're actually seeing a lot of the consequences of this changing world because of imagery. 80% of the world's human beings are smartphone users. Almost 7 billion people. That's an unfathomable number. That's double just since 2016. Think about what was happening in 2016 and now. So when you add the power of imagery, which is the most influential medium that we have to change hearts and minds, and you put it in every human being's hands in the world, that's going to do a lot of influencing. When you combine that with the masses on social media, we're talking billions upon billions of people. I want all of you in the room to start thinking about our current world. Just think about it as we're going through this presentation. Think about how our hearts and minds are being changed by imagery. The love, the fun stories, the cute memes, the TikToks, the hate, the divisiveness, all of it is driven by imagery. Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, it's everywhere. I don't think we've really realized how much imagery is impacting us. Because now, I can be in Africa, I can be in Ecuador, I can be anywhere, or any of those people who live in those places can change the world with a simple click of a record button and upload to Facebook. We can sell our agendas, we can sell our perspectives, we can do everything, and that's a lot of power. We have access to drones. We can go up into the skies. Used to be, the rich guys in the room, all the guys here who are investment people, they have helicopters. Normal people like me, we don't. But now for $500, I'm in the sky. Action cams. We can go underwater. So when you wrap all of this up and you think about the fact that our cameras can go anywhere and they're in everyone's hands and we can publish the content instantaneously, think about how much that actually changes the world. I'm going to show you a 4-minute clip and this is all my footage. I want you to understand the power of imagery, and I want you to understand something. I don't censor my content, so just be ready for it. This is our world. And I want you to ask yourself, what happens to a world where everyone is visually messaging?
They're now launching tear gas into the park.
The action of a 14-year-old boy being destroyed in front of everybody.
You're a bootlegger.
I'm not a fucking bootlegger. I don't want to die tonight.
nothing, I'm going to leave the same way.
Once again, you shut down the First Amendment.
He wants to talk more.
Dos, tres. Here comes the sun. Dun, 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 dun. Here comes the sun. And I say, it's alright.
It's alright.
Good job!
That last gentleman that I was singing with, this is why I love photography. He was my taxi driver in Ecuador. He was driving me around and he's asking me in Spanish, do you need help? Sure, why not? So he helped me for a day. A day turned into two. It turned into a week, and it turned into a lifelong friend. That's the power of imagery. I've traveled all over the world. The only continent I haven't been to is Antarctica. And I haven't seen many places as poor as Cuba. Cuba's destitute. The lady on the left of the screen there is in Cuba. Even in Cuba, they have cell phones. Now they have to go to a general Wi-Fi spot because the government runs the Wi-Fi. But even in Cuba, that beautiful lady can see that 5-star wedding on the right in America. You wonder why Cubans ask for liberty and for freedom. Imagery. What happens when we have to confront things that we used to ignore? What happens when our comfort zones are pushed? And in this day and age of special effects, Photoshop and everything else, do we even know what's real anymore? And here's the main problem that we have, my friends. We have news channels that go left and right. We have people posting things that go left and right. When we have no truth, it's very difficult for us to actually thrive. Regardless of whatever way you lean, we need truth. The good news is the barriers have been broken. The good news is that creativity is in everybody's hands. We really do have the tools to create things that are absolutely incredible in this day and age. I did a documentary with my assistant, and this is during COVID. We drove all over the United States. We were out for 6 weeks. And we're talking, this is March and April of 2020, back when everyone thought the sky was falling, back when it was the scariest time to be out, back when all the lockdowns were the most severe. And we were down in the French Quarter, and this beautiful, beautiful man. I'm so grateful that I have these moments, because I remember telling my assistant, Emily, I told her, I said, This is history, and we have to capture it. This man was in the middle of Bourbon Street playing the trumpet by himself because it made his heart full. This is completely imposed. This guy was just jamming and playing, and it was beautiful. This is my assistant, Emily, and we went to New York. Look at Times Square. Completely empty. That's Times Square. I was just in Times Square a month ago. It's back to normal. Completely empty. Celebrating our moments, documenting our struggles, preserving our past. You want to know the power of imagery? There's still people who believe that the Holocaust didn't happen. This image is called Last Light. This is in Auschwitz. This is the gas chamber. This is the last window and door that millions of poor souls saw before they were executed. If you're looking at the picture, just to the right is the door that leads right into the gas chamber. This was the last thing they saw. And in this very moment, you're feeling the gravity of that because of imagery. We find the eccentrics. This man actually believes he's a vampire. He legit shaved his teeth to be a vampire. We find the forgotten. I've been spending a lot of time down at the border. Some of that footage you saw is down at the border. And you know why I went? There's one simple reason. Yes, I'm a creative. Yes, I need to see it. I went because I didn't know what to believe in the world. That's actually why I went. And what I have found is everything that we hear left or right is not right. It's not correct. It's somewhere in the middle. And it's incredible when you find these stories. This little man was sitting there so dejected. This little guy has autism. He can't understand why he's sitting there in a brand new country. He doesn't understand anything. He's a tobacco farmer in Cuba. The good news is, despite all of this influence and everything going on in our lives, we truly do have an opportunity now. I think this is the moment for us as human beings to figure out that this amazing power of imagery can be used truly for good or evil. And people have always understood this. Just ask the Nazis. Propaganda works. But now it's in everyone's hands. So you have to ask yourself, how will you use it? Will you use it to sell your agenda, or will you use it to show the truth? Even if it conflicts with what you think life should be. You have to ask yourself that. It gives us a chance to grow, to see other people in different ways. And lastly, it gives us a moment to build together. As human beings, we're lost without truth. And I believe the best way we can tell truth is by showing people what's out there. And there's never been a better time than we have in our history than now. I thank you for your time, and hopefully we can build a better future together. Thank you.